And we'll try and take these authors one by one, and we'll go in alphabetical order. So we'll begin with Marcus Berkmann and his book, A Cricketing Miscellany, which I conveniently have one I've already made here. And I mean, this is exactly the kind of book I mentioned earlier, a couple of varieties of cricket books that found it hard to get onto this shortlist. And this is in that genre too, because it's an anthology, it's a collection of bits and bobs. And I think most of the judges, when they picked it up, thought, well, probably not. But what delightful bits and what absorbing bobs. It's one of those ludicrously entertaining volumes, full of charm and interest all the way through. If you're a Greg Chappell fan, you might want to avoid page 183. But everyone else will particularly enjoy that page and all the others. So Marcus, for a cricket fan like yourself and connoisseur and quizmaster of cricket, how delightful was it for you to be rolling about in this magnificent trivia?
Well, I spent a lot of my life laughing at my own jokes. So for about 6 months, when I was just writing, it's an absolute joy to write. Had a very clear idea of what I wanted to do, and I just sat there chuckling away for months.
Where did you find everything?
I just read loads of books, and I just spent loads of time going through books, looking for things that I didn't know, and finding them, and there they were, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Your organizing principle for the book is to really follow through a calendar year, so there's not quite an entry for every day, but people can have the fun of kind of looking up their birthday and discovering it's the day when kind of Mike Gatting had too much for lunch or anything like that.
Yes.
What lay behind that as it's good to have an organizing idea.
Well, that was the point was that there had to be something, and it seemed the best option. And although it's an entirely random and arbitrary organizing structure, it works. So I just thought, well, that's okay, that'll do, it's fine. And what I like about it is it introduces an element of randomness to the book, so that you have stories about different people from different generations of cricket and different types of cricketer and all sorts of different things all next to each other. And I didn't put an index in because I didn't want people to find it easy just to look at themselves up or to look up, the Mike Gatting stories. They've got to read it through and ideally remember where these things are. Of course, if you happen to know what Mike Gatting's birthday is, then you can immediately find it.
Yes. Now, of course, I mentioned you were a noted quizmaster, and the book is actually full of quizzes, and on the back of it, you have a series of questions. And I really wish there were an index so we could look up the answers. But the questions are all great fun, and you've been around that block many times. But what's the art of a good cricket question?
Well, the art of a good cricket question is it gettable? Because a lot of them are really hard, and you want it to be. It's like any quiz question. It's a form of entertainment. You want people to have a good time, so you want actually someone to get it. You can throw in a really tricky one occasionally, but generally you've got to get these. People have got to get them right, and they've got to be well written enough that you can actually put the clue in the question and get people to get them right.
Do you want to test our audience tonight with a couple?
Yes, I have 3 questions for you. No prizes for any of this. 3 questions. Number 1, 2 England cricketers have played in 5 Ashes winning series. One was Ian Botham, who more recently is the other. Question 2, in 1900, while playing for the MCC against London County, this man, more famous in another field, took his first and only first-class wicket. It just happened to be W.G. Grace. Who was this bowler? And question 3, in 2005, who became the first cricketer to win Strictly Come Dancing? Okay.
Well, Marcus, before you reread those questions and give the answers, just to interrupt. In fact, there is a prize. We've found a sponsor, and they've generously donated a pair of first-class seats flying to New Zealand tomorrow morning.
Wow.
They're completely unusable. Were you to get through, you'd have to quarantine forever. And, So they're a little bit notional, a little bit virtual, but just imagine that was the prize. And to put people out of their suspense, what are the answers to those riddles?
Okay, 2 England cricketers have played in 5 Ashes winning series. One was Ian Botham. Who more recently is the other? Well, I checked this because I thought, well, Jimmy Anderson must have played. He's only actually played in 3 Ashes winning series. The other one is Ian Bell. In 1900, while playing for the MCC against London County, this man, more famous in another field, took his first and only first-class wicket. It just happened to be W.G. Grace. Who was this bowler? It was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And in 2005, who became the first cricketer to win Strictly Come Dancing? I love this question because everyone always puts Mark Ramprakash. He won the year after. It was Darren Gough.
Gosh, the question everyone gets wrong. That's a kind of classic of the Tide, isn't it? Well, look, Marcus, wonderful to have you on the shortlist. Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure.
For joining us, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you very much.